Why is it not done?
All right, now, so obviously you've been working as a dentist for the last 3 years, and the more you work there, the more you realize that there's a greater distance growing between you and your missus, you and your two kids. Obviously, you told me how that's been impacting you, how that's been impacting them. So you said that you wanted to change. You don't see yourself in the job long term. When did you actually realize that you wanted to change one?
Probably 4, 6 months ago, to be honest, Jacob.
Okay, well, I mean, 6 months is a long time. Like, that's half a year. Have you actually done anything in the last 6 months to try and make a change?
I mean, just I sort of went down the lines of like trading and things like that there to sort of try and see if I could make an income from that. But that's about the height of it, to be honest with you, Jacob.
All right, very good. When did you actually try the trading one?
It would have been 4 months ago from like today.
Okay, okay. And how long did you stick that out for?
I mean, I stuck that out for about the guts of a month, just.
Okay. And then after that, did you try anything? Or
No, not really. I sort of thought, fuck, if I try anything here, it maybe isn't going to work for me, just with the way things went for the trading. Like,
right, okay, right, okay. So right, so let's break it down, right? So for you started trading 4 months ago from today, right?
hmm
So you told me that you wanted to change 6 months ago. So for the first 2 months, did you not do anything?
no,
Why not, man?
it's just, I didn't really know where to actually like start or, what to lean into, to start making that change.
Hmm. Okay, like was there something actually holding you back, like a fear almost, or
Yeah, I would put it down to fear, like just, the unknown of what to reach out to give it a go, really.
okay, okay. Like tell me now, like do you drive, for example?
Yeah.
All right, so like whenever you were starting your driving lessons, did you maybe have a bit of a fear then? Like stepping into the car for the first time, learning the clutch, the mirrors, the gears,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. Whenever I come home from like lessons, I always remember I've been sweating like mad because of how nervous I actually was.
Hmm. Right, okay. So then how did you actually overcome that fear that you had then?
Just kept doing the lessons, and just kept doing it, man. And eventually, I overcome that fear. Like,
Hmm. Right, okay. And do you see how you maybe could have done that then? You could have done that sooner. So if you knew that essentially having that fear wasn't going to get you anywhere, you could have overcame that fear and started 6 months ago rather than 4 months ago.
yeah, when you say it like that, it looks like it was fear that was actually holding me back from starting earlier.
Hmm. Right, okay. Well, anyways, let's put the fear aside, right? Obviously, you eventually did overcome it 2 months later,
hmm
and you got into trading, right?
Yeah.
So you done it, you stuck at it for a month, right? Talk to me. Like, what actual outcome were you looking to get from the trading when you got into it?
Just thought it was like able to, you know, leave my job and start making an income through trading.
Mm, 100%. Well, I mean, fair enough that, fair play to you for trying, but I'm guessing you didn't get that outcome if you give up after a month, right?
Yeah, yeah, it didn't go too well to be fair.
All right. And tell me, like, what was missing for you to not be able to get to where you wanted to be?
If I'm honest, like, I was on my own and like I'm just a normal guy. Like what the hell do I know about trading? Do you know? And I just hadn't a clue. I just sort of was pumping money into something that I didn't even
Hmm.
know what I was doing it with. Like,
So what do you feel like you could have actually used then if, you didn't want it? Like, obviously being on your own wasn't going to get you anywhere. So what do you feel like you needed then to make it work?
someone that was almost there for me whenever I, came across a problem or somebody who knew what they were doing, if I could sort of reach out to them and ask them, what do I do about this or, why am I not succeeding in this kind of, yeah.
Hmm. So what I'm sort of hearing is you knew that it wasn't going to work without somebody to guide you. Like you knew you needed that help, right?
hmm
So did you go and outreach for some help, or did you just ignore it and then just essentially give up after a month?
Yeah, I just basically ignored it because I thought, fuck, this is maybe going to cost me even more money to get somebody. And that's hence the reason why I, give up after a month.
Okay, well, that's essentially what it costs you money-wise, but like, what did it actually cost you in the long term? Did it get you to giving up, get you any closer to where you want to be?
No, it didn't. Like, whenever I sort of sit back and think of it like that, I'm in the same position as I was six months ago.
Hmm. Because the way I see it, man, like you told me earlier as well, because trade didn't work out for the next 3 months after that up until now, you didn't look into anything. Was and the way I see it, like, it almost cost you wasting time for another 3 months and not actually looking into anything. Is that safe to say?
Yeah,
Okay, so did the fear of failure get to you again then?
yeah, it would have been actually, yeah.
Okay, okay. So if you were to go back, say 3 months ago then, what would you have
hmm
actually done differently?
I mean, I would reach out and try and get like almost like a teacher. I don't know if that's the right word for them, but like sort of be in maybe a community of people who are also trying to, you know, learn trading and stuff. Like look for
Hmm.
look for boys that are, in the same position as myself and are all learning together. I feel like that there would maybe help me succeed a wee bit more.
For sure. Tell me now, ultimately, because it's been 3 months since you last tried anything, right? Since you essentially gave up on the drop shipping, right? Or on the trading, sorry.
hmm
So why is it actually so important for you now then to, try and overcome that fear of failure?
Cause like I said, like whenever I sort of sit back and look back and see that fuck 6 months ago I sort of come to this realization of a change and I'd attempted something for a month, but then I didn't stick out at it, and enough, and I'm in the same position as I was 6 months ago, and that's why I sort of come to this realization of, look, I need to sit down and actually start something.
Yeah, but ultimately, like a dentist is a pretty decent job. Could you just not continue sticking it out? Maybe things will get better. Maybe your problems are just going to resolve themselves on their own.
Nah,
So would it ultimately cost you more if you continue to do that than it already has cost you?
yeah, definitely it would.
Okay. Okay. Right. So essentially now, if we went back to say those 3 months ago, right? And after
hmm
the trade didn't work, if I turned around and give you a guarantee that whatever you next look into would work, would you jump straight into it?
Yeah, definitely, man.
All right, Mom, because what I can actually guarantee you is that, if you continue to let that, no, sorry, what do you think that you're guaranteed right now if you continue to let that fear of failure control you?
I'm just gonna be stuck in this dentist job, and it's not gonna get me anywhere because I've already come to that realization
Okay, and what guarantee do you have if you actually overcome that fear of failure then?
that I could actually, do well in something if I put my mind to it and actually, get the help that's needed to succeed in something.
Hmm. So do you want to be the person that continues to let the fear of failure control them? Or do you want to be the person that tries to overcome that fear and tries to get themselves closer to where they want to be?
Yeah, definitely the second option. Definitely.
Okay, and why the second option, not the first?
Because man, like I've already sort of come to this realization of, you know, 6 months ago was where I, wanted that change and started something. Only
Mm.
lasted a month and it's got me nowhere
Yeah,
because of the
okay.
fear of wanting to start something, again, but then having the fear of it maybe not working out.
Mm. Right, okay. Okay. So now, obviously, we touched on the trading side of things earlier, that maybe you felt like if you had that mentor, that teacher, I think you called it,
Hmm.
it ultimately could have helped you maybe to progress a bit further, and get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
But is ultimately the guidance going to be enough to help you overcome that fear of failure? Or do you feel like you might need something else, within the online space to actually get to where you want to be?
It's a good question. I mean, I don't really know. I feel like yeah, like yes and no. I think like if I had guidance there, maybe even like people I could maybe reach out to if I'm ever struggling with something. Like I mean, it's always good having guidance, something to follow. But like if you're maybe struggling with something that you're following with, like where do you go about getting the help for it?
Right. So guidance and sort of like a sense of community is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Right. And so that would be enough for you? Like, why would that actually be so important?
because like I mean that's what I sort of failed on with the trading. There was no community and there was no guidance really. All I was sort of doing was going off YouTube videos, but like it just wasn't enough.
Hmm. Okay. But whenever you were doing the trading, what the like what were the YouTube videos like sort of getting you? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
why were you doing
no,
them? What do you think that that was actually going to get you?
I mean it was just what was out there was a free resource and it was something that I was following, but like trading like charts and stuff change every day and it was just hard to sort of notice the climbs and notice trends and everything that I've sort of learned. Like
Mm.
I just didn't know where to go with it all.
Do you feel like maybe that structure, that knowledge to actually learn what you need would also play a big part in actually getting you to where you want to be?
Yeah, definitely. If I had somebody there that had that knowledge and knows what it's like, they've maybe been through that
Mm.
situation before, like that would definitely help a lot.
Okay, so hypothetically now, if let's say we had all this in place for you, so you had the knowledge, the guidance from a teacher, like you said, a community
Hmm.
of people that maybe ultimately want to get to this sort of similar places to where you want to get to. Where do
Hmm.
you see yourself in, say, another 6 months' time if you had all that in place?
Okay, I'd definitely like to think that I would be out of my job and actually making an income from the online space, man, to be fair.